Hi, it's Brownie. It's been a while. I don't know what. Sometimes there's pressure on to share my thoughts, but sometimes it's scary. I don't actually know if it's worth bringing up because of the angst. But is that being me? And the show is Brownie Unfiltered. The reason, there's a few things I want to talk about. But today I was watching YouTube, and there was this gentleman. He was protecting the unborn, so he was talking about abortion. He was actually just talking. He was a Christian man, a righteous man, and he was talking about being there for the unborn and being there for the mums, and just saying there should be never a time that a child should be aborted. And I'm in total agreement with this. I wasn't always, but one of the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill. What we differ is he fights for the rights for the unborn, but someone who has committed crime should be sent to death, which I'm dead against as well, because is it not hypocritical? Is it hypocritical? Who is evil? If you look in the left side, evil is anyone on the right, and the right side is anyone on the left. I think Keir Starmer and Albanese are evil, but to their following, he is a saviour. So that's why I don't believe in capital punishment, because it can be politicised on whoever's in. Well, anyway, he was talking to a young girl, because it seems to be the young girls who are the more progressives. And a guy walked past while he was interviewing a young progressive girl. You knew she was progressive because she had a fringe, which is the uniform for the left, had the nose ring, wasn't overly attractive, was at university. So it's just a typical young progressive young woman. And a guy walked past and he screamed out, "It's a woman's body, it's her rights." And the gentleman who was sticking up for the unborn, he called him a white knight. And I hadn't heard that expression for a long time, because the old expression of a white knight is back in medieval times, where the white knight was there for good and the black knight was there for evil. But now it's turned into a slang term, as in for someone who could be classed as a simp or a whipping boy. And you wonder what their motives are, because it's the same, just like the left. Progressive girls usually have the fringe, the septum ring, the clothes that no one would really wear because they don't want to be seen as sexual beings. So he was exactly what I had imagined what a white knight looked like. He was about 21, looked like he had never been in a fight. Don't know if he'd ever played any masculine sports. And he screamed out, women's rights, woman's body. And he got called a white knight, which got me thinking. And this is about what I was talking before about pattern recognition. And it seems to be that all the ones who are on the left, the male side, aren't what could I say? How could I say this? I would imagine their testosterone level wouldn't be as high as someone who's playing football or boxing or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They are more on the softer side, and they've realised that they can't get women the old-fashioned way of showing how strong they are or what sort of mate they would be. So they, in my eyes, pretend or implying that they're on the female side. My problem is it virtuous on being a white knight? Is it just trying to get laid, as how that guy was describing it, how he's had it before? He says, "Oh, just being a white knight, he does this to try and get laid." Or is it they are there because they want a woman's rights to be their rights? And I keep saying, and it's the same as I was listening to Joe Rogan, any male who's a feminist, I don't think they have the right intent. I think they're sleazy, slimy, because as you get older, and I'm 55 in July, I realise what some men are like, what some men who are players, who are sleazebags, and they say that to judge a true man is when they go for having a date and meeting the family for the first time, to have their brothers and uncles and father around and grandfather, because those you can tell what a guy's really like. And I've realised, being a white knight, the similarity or the pattern recognition, they're all the same. I've never seen anyone who's a white knight who's a Trump supporter, who's on the right. They're always a weaker person who's never really fought, who's never really who's never done anything masculine. I'm not saying that every man should be masculine, but I do think every man should learn how to fight, just to defend themselves and to defend their family as well. And I think it's just a bit like, if everyone had a gun, what would the road rage be like? Because if everyone knew that they could get shot if someone cut someone off, I think the road rage would be quite low. It's the same as with fighting. If everyone was taught fighting at school, I don't think we'd have as much aggression, especially in Australia and America, where I've noticed where the aggression is much higher. But if everyone learned to box or to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or anything like that, we wouldn't have the problems we are having now. But in talking about white knights, I realised yesterday, even just yesterday, I went to Aldi and I saw a man who had one of those alligator claw for his hair, fully shaved, apart from a mustache, and looked like a woman, but having a mustache. And then I go, oh, you don't really see trans people very often. And then I'm waiting at Coles supermarket with my wife, went in to go and do some shopping, and I just sat in the car and listened to a podcast, and 2 transvestites walked past me again. So that's 3 transvestites in a short amount of time. And have we always had this problem, or is it our society where I never heard of toxic masculinity when I was growing up, and now you hear toxic masculinity, and especially the Labor government over here and over in the UK are really, and the Democrats are pushing men to be submissive instead of being the patriarch of the family. They're breaking down the family. They want the family to as the state, instead of having a father figure who disciplines their child and shows them love and shows them compassion, empathy. So that's it was just really weird, like how I've never seen it before. But is that allowing people to be who they are if they want to be transvestites? But I'm not really quite sure. I think we are turning men very effeminate. And what is the reason behind that? Is it the reason so we don't go to war? So yes, I'm not really sure. There is a purpose where we're talking about toxic masculinity, and we're talking about women who want to stamp out toxic masculinity. But are these women happy? Because I've noticed that progressive women, Democrat women, are the most miserable people on earth. And I see a lot of videos and where they interview them to see if they believe in Jesus. And the most angry women are all the ones who say no. They just don't have that love. I don't understand. And I am far from sinless. But as a practicing Christian, I try and be as loving as possible. And I've learnt to put my aggression in other places, as in I use it for BJJ now. I don't have a boxing bag, so I can't use it there, but I put my aggression there and show my love. But I'm the first one to defend my family, first one to defend anyone who's actually getting picked on. But I'm not going, it doesn't matter if it's a male or a female. Sorry, there's a dog just walked up the size of a horse. So that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts of men who are white knights? All right. I always finish off the same thing. If you can't be anything, be kind. See you next week.